today's technique was totally focused on vocabulary acquisition, how to acquire vocabulary. So if you do this, if you take up this technique, you'll gain confidence over your words, the words you're using while speaking English. You'll sound more confident and more fluent. So take this technique up, do this, and feel the difference. Hello everybody, how are you all? Hope you're doing great. So welcome back to another session of learning English and speaking English fluently with me. Well, in today's lesson, I'm going to cover something that is going to help you not only improve your vocabulary, but you will be able to use vocabulary and speak English fluently. Because the more words you use, the more fluent you sound. A lot of times, we are faced with the situation where the mind goes blank, or maybe the words are not coming in mind, you're fumbling for words, searching for words. This happens, right? Even though you are learning vocabulary, still it happens. And today's video is going to be a solution for all of you, where I'm going to tell you how to use that vocabulary and how to sound fluent. So are you all ready for this? I'm Shivangi Gupta, your certified English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK. Before beginning, please subscribe the channel so that you can get all the lessons that I post for you on this channel. Please like the video and share it with the friends too. Now coming back to today's lesson, what is this particular thing, what you are supposed to do? So basically, there are going to be some steps that I'm going to tell you what you are supposed to do, how to improve that vocab, how to understand the context, because context is important. Learning vocabulary through context is extremely important. So we are going to cover everything in this particular lesson. Let's begin with the step number 1, that is the research. You have to do research. Step number 1 is research. Now, what you're supposed to do in research? Basically, in research, you're supposed to take up any text, a book, a novel, a magazine, an article, whatever you want, and you have to give a thorough reading to it. I'm not saying that you have to do read aloud and all that. No, you have to give a thorough reading, deep reading, where you're analyzing each and every line. You analyze all the lines, the words, everything, because when you read with all of your attention, what happens is you are also trying to understand the context. Deep reading, silent reading helps you understand the context. That's important. So this stage of research is like you have to read something, read any material, read a book, read a novel, read whatever you want to read. Read something that interests you so that you can be engaged with that particular activity wholeheartedly. That's why you need to pay attention to whatever you're reading. Okay, so take it up and start reading. Read. Try to understand the context of various words that are used. Even the commonly known words might change context when you are using them differently. For example, the word over. Over means something that is kept over something, right? Over means if you are keeping another object on top of another thing, that is also over. If it's crossing by, that's also over. For example, the airplane is flying over the colony, the locality, the society, the tree, whatever you want to say. The birds are hovering over the tree, right? So that is like over. One more meaning is over. The time is over. That means it's ending. It has ended now. That is also one more meaning of the word over. It's a simple word. We know that. We are familiar with it. But the meaning can change according to the context. And when you do this deep reading, you learn the context without extra efforts because your subconscious mind is taking up everything. And when you do it again and again, you are able to understand context for a lot of words. And this is how you are going to develop the ability to use the word in the right context while speaking English. That's a major concern. The ability to speak any word in the right context, at the right time, in the right situation. And this is going to help you do that. So research. This stage is research. You have to do the research. For that, you have to read and pay attention to the context. Now, the last step of research is after that, whatever new words you are not able to understand, you're confused about, write them somewhere. So let's move on to the step number 2, that is record. Let's come to step number 2. Step number 2, that is to record whatever you have learned, whatever you have found out in that particular research. You have to record it. This is the time you will record everything. Now, recording is just not about that you have recorded and you have left it like that. You record the words, you write it down properly. Take up a journal, take up a notebook, and divide the page. The word, the meaning, and example sentences. That is what you're supposed to do. Dividing the page. The word, its meaning, and example sentences. That is something you are supposed to write. And this is very important for you, recording those words that you're learning, because when you're writing them, it's kind of solidifying the concept for you. It gets solidified because you've just interacted it and you instantly picked up your smartphone, your mobile phone, you're searching the word, the meaning, and you're done with it. The word is not there with you anymore. It's not in your active usage, active memory. No, it was just a think of a moment. That is it. Now, when you are recording it, your brain is interacting with the word again and again. You're recording, that means you're also writing it. I would suggest take up the traditional method of using a journal. Do not just use some digital app where you're typing everything and all that. Writing, traditional method of writing, helps you a lot in remembering things, in understanding the language. That's why I always tell you, keep a vocabulary journal. Keep that with you. So if to record everything in that, supposedly you have written 5 words, right? You came across these 5 words, write them, the meaning, and 2 example sentences. That's very important because example sentences again serve as your context. These example sentences serve as your context. That's why they are important. So do not miss out, do not skip writing down these sentences. That's important for you. Now let's move on to the step number 3. Step number 3 is revise, revision. Revising is important. Whatever you are learning, revising it from time to time is important. So you have to pick your vocabulary diary up, vocabulary journal up, and you have to revise those words from time to time. I'm not saying do this every day. Once in a while, twice in a week, maybe 4 times or 5-6 times in a month, that's enough. That is enough. But this particular revision is required. It is required and it's very important. So you have to revise after some time, revise it. That's very important. And this is something that is going to solidify the concept, because now when you're interacting with the word again and again, you're gaining confidence to use it. How to use it in a real life situation. And this word will never go into your passive memory. Why? Because you are actively engaging with the word. You are making efforts to engage with the word. When you're taking up your diary, you're turning the page, you're reading the word, the meaning, the example sentences, you're revising everything. It's like you are interacting with the word. Everything has been replenished related to that particular word in your mind, in your memory. That's why it's important to revise. I always say that learning new words is just half of your work. You might be learning 100 words in a week, in a month, but if you're not able to use them, they are useless for you. It's just not about learning new words, but about the right way to learn those words so that you can convert them into your active vocabulary. That means you're able to use them when you speak. Because why are you actually improving your vocabulary? So that you can speak better. Whenever you're speaking, you do not repeat one word again and again and again and again. Yeah. So a lot of time we use one word repeatedly. And that is what we have to eliminate, so that we can use a variety of words, we can speak more, appear more confident, and sound more fluent. So this is the solution for you. So that is it. That is it for today. Today's technique was totally focused on vocabulary acquisition, how to acquire vocabulary, how to learn vocabulary, and speaking the same vocabulary fluently whenever you are speaking in a real life situation. And I'm not just talking about your speaking practice, but also your real life situation. So if you do this, if you take up this technique, you'll gain confidence over your words, the words you're using while speaking English. You'll sound more confident and more fluent. So take this technique up, do this, and feel the difference. That's it for today. That is it. I'm going to meet you again with a new lesson. Till then, everybody, take care and bye.